Do you ever notice how history repeats itself? After World War II, American society encouraged women to return to traditional roles. People often said there were 3 essential things a woman needed for a happy life. According to this belief, women were expected to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother, and to keep a perfect home. This ideal was pushed everywhere women turned in the 1950s. Women were expected to find fulfillment in cooking, cleaning, and raising children. They also needed to support their husbands' careers, dreams, and ambitions. This is where Betty Friedan comes in. She began to question these ideas. She was a writer who challenged the traditional experience for women. In the late 1950s, she decided to survey her former college classmates. They were smart and ambitious women who were once expected to have meaningful careers. Their responses surprised her. Most of them felt completely unfulfilled, as if something was missing from their lives. Even though they were doing exactly what society told them would make them happy, they weren't happy at all. Betty called this feeling the problem that has no name. In 1963, Friedan published The Feminine Mystique, arguing that the notion that women are fulfilled only by housework and motherhood is a damaging myth. Betty argued that women need careers, education, and their own identities separate from their husbands. In her book, she compared a home to a comfortable prison, which sparked outrage. Many women disagreed with Betty and said that their lives were great as they were. They didn't appreciate Betty's judgment, and they were extremely comfortable with how they were living, as they were told to by society. The book became a bestseller and sparked conversations across the country. It encouraged women to question their roles, pursue education, return to work, and demand equality, making a significant cultural shift. It's also important to note the criticisms of the feminine mystique. It largely focused on white, middle-class, suburban women. Women of color and working-class women already had jobs and faced different struggles that Friedan didn't fully address and include when addressing all women. Still, the book remains a major turning point for feminism and gender equality.
A year ago, this woman heaved a brick through the rose-colored picture window of the American suburban bungalow and invited the resident housewife to take a clear look at the outside world. This book has sold more than 50,000 copies in the hardcover edition, and 700,000 have been published in paperback.
Has made us feel it's unfeminine to use our rights, to really want equality, to want to take part in the decisions of the world in politics. Career woman almost became a dirty word.
A deep sense of malaise among women who had very fine educations and then felt that they really didn't have choices, that there were no avenues for their talents, and were caught in some profound way.
A woman today has been made to feel freakish and alone and guilty if simply she wants to be more than her husband's wife, her children's mother, if she really wants to use her abilities in society. And
everybody read The Feminine Mystique. They didn't know what was wrong. Why were they not satisfied by the 3 children and the perfect house?
I was thinking that I was just different. A lot of my girlfriends were getting married straight out of college, and I was thinking, I don't want to do that at all. But reading that book let me know that there were masses of women who felt differently, and that it was stunning.
Inequality of opportunity that is present is probably one of the most harmful things in our society, and I think as a woman, that is probably the hardest thing to get over.
This is why we have to do this from our point of view, from our perspective. If we don't change it, the attitude, then it's never going to change.
The next wave of the feminism movement came in the 2000s to 2010s. It is referred to as body positive feminism, or the body positivity movement. It says that you don't need to change your body appearance or even your personality to feel beautiful and confident. This Dove ad from the 2000s does a great job at explaining.
look younger, smaller, lighter, fuller, tighter, thinner, softer. It really works.
Another era in feminism that challenged the belief that women should have control over their own life is the Roe v. Wade movement. Both the feminine mystique and Roe v. Wade are about women having control over their own lives and their futures. Roe v. Wade happened in 1973, and it protected women's rights to choose whether or not to continue a pregnancy. In 2022, the world split when it was overturned. The Supreme Court overturned Roe in the case Dobbs v. Jackson's Women Health Organization. It means the court ruled that the U.S. Constitution no longer protects abortion as a national right. So instead of one federal rule, each state now decides its own abortion laws. Some states banned abortion almost completely. Some added very strict limits on when you could have an abortion. Other states protected and expanded access in using Planned Parenthood. This created a huge divide in the country depending on where you live. How we form judgments on this is usually by how we were raised and our political and religious affiliations. Social influences, personal experience, and emotional reactions all play a part in how we feel or judge Roe v. Wade being overturned. The information we consume also plays a part because inaccurate and accurate information is pushed on us in the media, and it's hard to form real opinions on the things we see when we aren't getting factual information. In conclusion, both Betty Friedan's ideas and the Roe v. Wade decision share the same goal: allowing women to define their own lives rather than having society define it for them.